Hello again. I'm here with the part 4. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you and thank you for interest in the story and thank you for all your beautiful comments and it's really appreciated. Helps with healing, helps with recovery from the big shock and big change in my life. Okay, so today we go straight into reason number one why Mango left us so early. So here it is, here it comes. So Mango was growing up in England on typical English diet. So that's morning cereals, milk, sugar. Some people will put banana. Mango had like allergy to bananas, so he would have he could not have it. He said if he bite banana, even a little bit, he will get like high fever and very itchy tongue and all mouth. So it's a shame because I believe banana for me is like the base of my fruit. You know what I eat. I can't imagine live without bananas. Even I did for a while, but I'm back to them again and I forgot how it was living without them. Anyway, so sweet cereal or mom cooked the porridge from rolled oats in the milk with the sugar. That's a breakfast. To school, sandwich. Sandwiches was made of cold meat, cheese, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, and that was rotating, mixing in different ways. Sometimes was just ham and sandwich, sometimes was ham and tomato, or ham and cheese. Anyway, it was changing, rotating, just those ingredients again. And for the sweets, there was anything baked by mom or bought in a shop. Mom did bake usually maybe only on a weekend because she was through the week busy. She had 2 kids. Mango was born when his brother was 3, and every mom knows what that involves. And mom was at home, have to look after the shop, so she was running up and down to the shop. Or maybe they didn't live in a shop yet so early. But that's a detail. Definitely they were in a shop where Mango already was like in a, going to school. But there was typical English diet, as the sweet also was very common custard and this jelly. I could never eat that. Yeah, I used to love custard. I used to live on custard for a while as adult, but jelly, I never seen it. First time in Australia, and that was just like, you must be joking. What's this? And then I asked, how is it made? And they told me it's water, sugar, color, and some animal bone thing. Oh, my. Anyway, sorry, just culture shocks. So mango favorites was chocolate, cookies, and also milk. He will drink, he told me, 2 liters of milk easy, even more each day. It was his big thing. He also ate it with the cookies and stuff. And when he can walk, he was big enough to get in a shop and get what he wants there. He had a very easy access to all those things. And of course, he had to write down what he took, and his parents didn't pay for it. But there was limit. If he took too much, he was no, 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 no. And so Mango, soon as he can, in an early age, maybe already 8, 9, he started to sell newspapers to have a more pocket money for his sweetness. So he was already addicted. He wasn't getting enough. He was looking for resources to get money so he can get more. And this is already typical behavior of addict. I've seen it in my family. I have a brother addicted to alcohol since 10 years old. So he was always chasing money. Even he get lot of free alcohol from certain house. So anything sweet, Mango would go for it. And then from the salty thing, it was potato chips in the bag, those thin ones. In England, they call it crisp. That's what I learned from Mango. Because here in Australia, they call it chips. And in communism, we didn't have such a thing. We have one kind of potato chips, but they were made from real potatoes. They were very difficult to buy, not easy to come around. And if we did, it usually was in a pub, we would buy it, but I will always wipe out the salt from it. There was so much salt, I would take those serviettes in the restaurants they have, and I will wipe it all out. I ještě takhle with my fingers, and then I will have it, because I liked it otherwise. It wasn't good for me, that was a long time ago. So those salty crisps, that was all also a big thing, and I think that Nang was having that with him for the school lunch, school break, or whatever we call it. So for the breakfast, there will be that porridge with sugar and milk, or cereals with sugar and milk. At school, it will be the sandwich, and then back at home, sandwich. If mom didn't have a time to cook meat and 3 veg, she will make up just sandwiches for a dinner, and maybe some custard or some pie from shop, stuff like this. I think there was hardly any soup. I think English people don't eat much soup. I don't know. So also English breakfast on a weekend. That was Mango's favorite. So Mango's favorites: chocolate, cookies, anything sweet, and English breakfast, and Yorkshire pudding. Occasionally, on a day out, the family will buy outside fish and chips. Also very typical English meal. Every tourist who comes to England, I never been that country, never called me in, but I know, I heard of it. Very interesting. Everybody will in England buy fish and chips. And also on a weekend or even weekday when mom has time, there will be for dinner and for lunch, I suppose, this veggie, three veggie and meat. So they can get it. But it's easy, simple. Okay. Uh, Also, when Mango was about 14 or 15, he was making his own wine from a lot of different things. It was his big passion. Some old man taught him how to make wine to drink. Maybe I don't say it properly. Vino and alcohol, yes. And I said, in so early age, and he said that was normal in England. You can go and have a beer in a pub already when you're 40, when I was young. Well, that was shock for me because when I was young, till today, it's 18-year-old. And US, I think, is 21. Of course, you want to consume it earlier. You can't stop anybody. But it's not legal. You can get just sit in a pub and consume it there, like with the cigarette. He said a lot of kids already smoked at that age as well. That's full on in my books. So, okay, so that's simple. Typical English food. And as I already mentioned, bananas, fruit in the family was scarce. It was apple, orange, banana mostly, and sometimes the mandarin, maybe around the Christmas and stuff. But the fruit, because Mango couldn't eat bananas, and I don't even remember, maybe he just liked oranges. I don't even remember what fruit he did prefer. And then, so conclusion of Mango's childhood diet. High sugar, fat, salt, grinds and meat, lot of processed food, not enough of fresh produce, all baked, mass production food is high on the corn, sugar, no corn, sweetener, processed corn juice called fructose. It's since 70s in every processed sweet, especially sweet food. And there was hardly any fresh produce. They had sometimes some mixed salad with the meal, and mango have sometimes occasional piece of fruit. Okay, fructose, corn syrup, and also high fructose syrup are commonly used in many varieties of processed foods, soft drinks, candy, baked goods, especially cookies and cakes, breakfast cereals, sauces and condiments, ice creams and frozen desserts, packed snacks, crisps, spe- especially the flavored ones, with the ham flavor or whatever. And all those, all this, okay, high fat, high salt, high sugar, and especially this corn sweetener are big contributors to heart disease. A lot of artificial ingredients are also added. Not only that corn syrup, but you know, the different flavors, enhancing whatever you, colors, all those additives and preservatives. And now I have few little stories for you. Once I was in some event, I was given this little bag of those crisps. Here in Australia, it was some Christmas thingy somebody invited me to. And I didn't want to refuse it because, the people can get sometimes really offended. So I usually took things like that and I either gave it to somebody else or I just threw it in a bin because some days I wouldn't give it to anybody because I know how bad it is. Anyway, I ended up taking them at home. And on the way home, when I was thinking what I'm going to do with them, who's going to get them, I it wasn't anything, little those tiny bags. And I got the idea. I said, I wonder what happens when it gets in the stomach. And I put it in a glass with the water, just up water. And I put it in the window so it's get the light, even in stomach is darkness. But I want to speed up the process of the digestion process, composting in the glass. Here it's digestion. 1 week, they look exactly this side, just floating in that water. I think they were on the top there, like hanging there. So I thought if I touch them, poke them, they will just, you know. So I got the knife and I gently poked, and nothing. It was fully perfect. If I put it on the sun dry, if I take it out, I can serve it to my guests. I can't believe it. So anyway, I had it there like for 6 months. Same. I couldn't believe it. So that's a story number one. Number two, and also one of my relatives, she worked in those in the place where they were putting some food processing plant, where they were putting the how do you call it, those additives and preservatives in the processed food. The processed food dishes are huge. You know, it could be easy 100-liter dish. Is more, even more huge, like big mixing, big mixer kind of thing. And she said she was the one putting it in that mix. And she said it's so powerful, the chemicals you put in all that big barrel, just few grams. Maybe not even a gram. I think not even a grams. I think she said they use milligrams. They just use tiny amount. And she realized how bad that has to be if that's enough to spoil all that big barrel of already processed, who knows what, food, food. She was so, she has such an insight what's going on in there. She stopped working there and she stopped eating altogether processed food. She even they go and buy everything from local farmers and they start growing their food and they also would never buy nothing in a supermarket process. They didn't even believe the fresh produce. They were getting it all around the different farms through the season, and for winter they just freeze the things, which is also not kosher. But that's how much it freaked her out when she saw what's involved in this food addic- addictives and preservatives. So, because all of those things, the corn sugar, the lot of sugar in a diet, lot of food in a diet, the mango was all already really addicted to, to sweetness, to fat, to grinds. Grinds are very addictive. I have a big problem stop eating bread. Even I hardly ate it. But you know, when I felt I would have it. But mine I ate bread rolls because my stomach was more okay with that. Anyway, that's the detail I don't want to get too much into now because again it may get too long. I never know where it's the time in here, so let it go. Okay, now after Mango left the school, he started working in London. So he was commuting every day to work and from work. So he was eating out, minus sandwiches, those different English pies, typical takeaway food, fish and chip. So he was just living really poorly as far as food goes, and there was hardly any fresh produce. And at home it was sandwiches, 3 meat veg weekend, English breakfast, same, but different. Okay, so corn syrup in processed meats, barbecue sauce, commonly used in marinated of processed meat. Processed meats and other processed meats also can contain corn syrup, and every packaged processed meat will have corn syrup, and also every cheap sweet, including cheap cookies and chocolate, will have a lot of this corn syrup. And of course, daily bag of crisps. So that London, that was even worse because I think there was even more food from out and a lot of sandwiches as well. Not much of mom's cooking, maybe on a weekend. I think on a weekend, yes. I'm not sure how long Mango worked in London, maybe a year. It's all in his biography, but I don't register the time much. At year 21, Mango left for Germany because he was chosen by an Indian company to work for them in Germany. He was picked at school, one of the best. He was picked earlier at school, and then when he reached his adulthood, sir, when he reaches 21-year age, he can come to work in Germany. And that's why he worked for them in London first. If I'm mistaken, I think he still worked for some computer company. But this is about it now. So that was London, and then Mango left for Germany, and in Germany, Mango's diet was also wine and beer, and consumption increased in corn syrup. Eating at work, it was usually sandwich, again typical sandwich Mango used to eat in England. And then after work, it, and get to work sandwich. In the morning, this morning cereal, sorry, breakfast in the Germany, morning cereal. I don't know if Mango cooked his porridge. I don't think so. He was always very convenient with everything. He didn't want to spend too much time making some food, and especially in those days. So it would be typical as he ate normally in England, the cereal, milk, sugar, then it will be sandwich to work. And after work, with his friend every day in the same restaurant, Italian restaurant. And I read you typical Italian diet in typical for restaurants. But there it is. Okay. Pizza, lasagna, pasta, chicken parmesan, fish, pros- prosciutto, panna cotta, cannoli. Panna cotta, yeah, cannoli, and Tamarisu. Last three are the deserts. High, high fructose corn syrup is also in the pasta sauces, pizza sauces, tamarisu or cannoli fillings, and also, as we know, that the Italian food, pizza, pasta, pasta, pizza, and lasagna, don't forget lasagna. It's all, again, bit of veg, but lot of cheese, grind, salt, bit of sugar. And so we say fat, meat, grinds, and bit of veg, with few slices of tomatoes and, so not olives. I know Mango didn't like olives, so I remember that. So again, not very fresh food, very something healthy. It's again the same pattern as in a childhood. Okay, Norway, again, sandwiches, go to work, crisps every day. So Mango since early childhood, every day bag of crisps. That was something he must have, and hardly any fresh produce. There was alcohol on the social, and there was social eating with alcohol and processed restaurant food. I met many people, including some of family members, who told me that those who worked in a food industry, but like in restaurants, and none of them will eat in a restaurant. Everybody said, from what I seen at work, I would never, ever in my entire life to eat anything made in restaurant. Okay, remember that. So it still was kind of the same kind of rubbish, really rubbish, bad food which was made by me. Again, see that there's still the same basis. The food is always contain lot of grains, lot of sugar, lot of salt, lot of fat. I'm sorry, but it's you can see the pattern, you can see the addiction. Then when he become vegetarian, I think first he will start cooking some food at home, and he continued that when he became vegan, his diet was very similar. I don't know when he was vegetarian how many cheese and eggs he ate. I actually don't remember Mango mentioning much eggs in his diet, but there was definitely a lot of milk and cheese, and that fat, that butter over there. Like maybe some of you doesn't have a clue, but I used to make cookies with my mother at home because she was baker. She baked every day because everybody ate it but me. And the cookie is made 50-50. The butter, the, the flour, and the flour And sugar is also wheat. That's almost third of butter, sugar, and flour. Just look at some cookie recipes. See what's involved, how high some of those things which may look innocent is just one cookie. But I tell you that cookie is full of corn sugar, full of fat and grains. Something the body finds very difficult even to digest. Not the sugar, but the grains and fat. Definitely yes. So let's have a look. What Mango made as vegan. As I said, vegetarian. I don't think it changed much for him. So he told me he used to make big pot of soup made of grinds. There are grinds, the legumes. He would use a lot of beans and the soya beans and different beans and chickpeas, and he will make a soup out of it. He will put hardly any veggies, mainly his beans and stuff. And he will make big pot and he will freeze it and he will have each day soup for a day. And I believe if you don't make your food fresh and eat it, you should not eat it at all. That's my opinion. Cooking for whole week or preparing for whole how many days I had food has never been in my books. I make it, I eat it, bye. So he also made his own tofu and bread. He baked his own bread. So he made homemade sandwiches and he ate a bit of vegan animal products. Meat, milk, eggs, cheese, margarine, meat, milk. And this all has high corn syrup intake. Okay, remember that corn syrup. That's a big, big enemy of yours. Don't let it in your house or in your body, which is also in your house when your spirit dwells. So, and again, some alcohol, but not not so much anymore. And when Mango became raw vegan, in the beginning he ate a lot of fresh fruits, juicy fruits. He started really well, but soon he started having the problem with that food wasn't heavy enough for him because his diet since early childhood was heavy. He followed the pattern of the fat, sugar, salt, grinds. That was the base since day one. And so this is the diet. And diets high in fat, especially unhealthy fat like saturated and sugars, can rise cholesterol levels and increase the risk of heart disease. Nutritional deficiencies from too much of processed food increased risk of chronic disease, hypertension, fatty liver disease. Eating And when Mango started eating with me, when I see what he was eating, it was constant durian and avocados intake since Thailand. Then we'll have durian, there was mainly durian in Thailand, and coconuts. In Czech Republic, it was mainly durians and avocados. In Sydney, durian, avocados, and when we come up here, lot of dates, lot of akis, and constantly daily portions of avocado, durian, and this is, I think, the worst problem because we have so much money, we didn't spend money much on anything, we lived very simple life, we bought most of things second hand, only when they were for a really good price. So we have plenty money to afford to buy durian. And when durian was in a season, we bought some loads and loads and loads of it. And we have full freezer, make sure we have it all year supply. That's happened up here in Sydney was easy. You just go in a shop and you get it. Here, even frozen durian, they didn't understand it. They brought it up. It was fully unfrozen and they were selling it that way. Durian didn't taste good. You have to unfreeze it and eat it. Otherwise, forget it. Anyway, it's getting late and this is the diet. So you can see, even in fruit diet, mango still needs a lot of heavy fruit to satisfy his addictions really to that all life, high fat, high sugar, high grains diet. And in the next video, I will address the risk of this kind of diet, but everything, if is it really healthy or not, and why. So I will get a little bit more into that detail, and then we will go into something else. So light is going away, so am I, because when darkness coming, I always put light on. So that didn't help much, but I'm happy I made it. I was worried, I have a little break, so I have to read what I've noted there, make sure I don't forget anything, but I will still come back next time to tell you more about that food and why this kind of eating is only asking for double. Again, I repeat, Mango always drank water because I never say people you can't do that. He knew I don't drink it. He felt a little guilty about it, so he was like keeping it from my side. But he have bottle of water in car, bottle of water in bedroom, bottle of water here. So in few places, and maybe some in a garden, I don't know. And so Mango might be sad he didn't drink water, but he did. But true is, the longer he was eating fruit, he didn't drink so much, but on the other hand, I always didn't see him when he had a drink. So unfortunately, he's not here to tell you, to share with you. I think he will never do it because it was difficult for him, even just between us. So I can't see him to come forward with it. Maybe if he lived much longer, he realized how important it is to share that. Anyway, look, I'm starting on and it's time to go. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with me. And I sending you a lot of love because that's my biggest value. I always believe the love is all we need. And if you don't have a love, you are very empty and you don't have that true spirit within you. And the spirit is what counts. And the body too, because the body carries the spirit. We come here for a reason. Okay. Thank you for listening again. Thank you for all your love and all your support. It's highly appreciated. Until next time, I sending you a lot of love and see you hopefully at the part number 5. Lots of love.